Ellen McCoy writes for Bloomberg Pursuits about how white wine should be looked at when it comes to value investing. She writes that, quote, sadly, most people, even those who love white wines, buy into the narrative that collecting and investing are mainly about reds because their powerful tannins allow them to last. This received wisdom is woefully outdated, she writes. Top whites can easily age 10 or as many as 20 years or more, almost as long as reds. She says the acidity plays the role that tannin plays in preserving reds.
Well, our next guest is nodding as he's listening to this. We're talking about wine because it is Friday. We're joined by Christopher Wirth. He is Director of Sustainability at Opici Wines and Spirits. He joins us here in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker studio. Happy Friday. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about Opici Wines. What do we need to know?
So Opici Wines, family owned. The import side of the business has been around since 1913, so we do have a little bit of pedigree and some history behind us. We focus on family-owned estate wines from around the world, heavy on Italy just because of the family's heritage. But then we've also branched out into some of our own proprietary brands that we source from family growers, but we'll put our own label on them. So one of those, like our La Luca Prosecco that we have, that's named after Don Opici, who's my boss, his son Luca. So it's all in La Familia as we go through it. Yeah.
Has it gotten easier or harder, though, in terms of making wines? We've had a lot of conversations about the wine industry over the last few years. Some of it has to do with you have younger generations not drinking so much, but we also talk about climate change and people shifting where they're growing. So tell us a little bit about
tariffs too.
And tariffs also.
Absolutely. No, it's a lot of, all of those things are absolutely true, and it's kind of coming at the industry from all angles. But I mean, in terms of climate change, growers are having to adapt and build resilience into their plans.
What do they do?
So it's a combination, because it's not like it's just getting hotter. Like that's kind of one of the misnomers, is that it's every year will get hotter and hotter. While there may be extremes, you're also dealing with a lot more frost and cold. So there's a lot that they have to do. The biggest thing is they don't want to contribute to make it worse. So they're cutting down on their own emissions. You know, they're starting to not use any synthetic pesticides or synthetic fertilizers, starting to move to like cover crops to like naturally regenerate the soil and just be more responsible stewards. And it's not just in the vineyard, like being certified organic or something is good, but it also comes down to your packaging, to your glass, to your shippers, to how you're messaging that to customers and to the younger generation that's looking for more stories on what to drink.
The stories element and the messaging element is part of it, but all those things that you mentioned, it's got to affect taste too.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's nowadays... Like
or consistency of taste.
Yeah, and when I got into the industry, if you had the organic wines that were marketed, they didn't last as long. They were a little bit of a lower quality. But a lot of it is we didn't have like the verbiage to even classify these things or how to talk about them.
Yeah.
So, and while organics, that is like one of the best levels you can be at, sustainability is more of like an overall holistic style to do it. So you can maintain that flavor and maintain your business without sacrificing like the flavor in the sales and things like that.
The other thing that we've talked about is regenerative farming. Like that has also made its certainly presence, if you will, when it comes to wine. We've talked about that a lot around this table.
Yeah, I mean, one of our producers, so Carpenetto from Tuscany, they're known for their Chiantis. We have their Chianti Classico Reserva that we'll be tasting in a minute, but they're one of our kind of most prestigious sustainable producers that we have, and they do what's called a green harvest, where they'll cut grapes that they're not going to use, but they'll let them kind of break down on the soil to like naturally regenerate and put nutrients back in. They'll use cover crops to help with erosion and things like that, so you don't have to put the synthetic fertilizers or any of that into the system. So yeah.
What?
What are we drinking?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's start. Let's
talky.
Let's go. So we're going to start with that La Luca Prosecco that I was talking about.
Okay.
So we'll start there. This is one of our most well-known national brands. This is from the Treviso area up north in Italy. Oh.
Okay.
Now you can that was for our radio audience.
It's for the radio audience, yeah.
But this is okay. Sorry, you were talking about the Treviso.
Yeah. So like you have your area of Prosecco, and then in that area the grapes are called Glera. They used to be called Prosecco, but they changed them so they don't get confused with the actual town where they're from. So so Prosecco is the area. Inside Prosecco is the appellation of Treviso. That's the DOC Treviso you'll see on there.
Right.
And then this is done in like an extra dry style, so it's fruity, but it's still really fresh.
Am I drinking the right one? I don't know if I'm drinking the right one.
You got some bubbles?
Is it bubbles? Or
it should have bubbles. This one's got bubbles.
Bubbles is where you want to start.
Right,
this is what we're going to do third.
Okay, thank you, Carol.
Okay.
I think Tim might have already been having some.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
You know what's shocking to me about this is it's $18.
And you'll find it in a range of like $16 to $18.
Wow.
And that's the beauty of us owning this brand and importing it. So there's like one less set of hands touching it. So it's a real value driven, and we have a great relationship with the co-op of farmers that produce this for us, and that's kind of the highlight of their sustainability efforts on that.
Is a co-op? Is that not typical, or is that typical in this part of the world?
So for like El Coto and Carpenetto, those are going to be all estate fruit. So the winery actually owns them. But for La Luca, since we buy it from this large co-op, and it's about, I can't recall the exact number, but a large number of farmers that all operate under the same sustainable guidelines that the parent winery dictates.
Love that.
And on the back of the bottle, you'll see that 3E Equalitas on there.
What does that mean?
So that's environmental, ethical, and economical. So those are the 3 values of their sustainability program.
Okay.
And that's guided by the Italian ministry and then certified that they are actually following those procedures by an independent agency called Valor Italia.
How much does sustainability matter? We've been talking about that this week, and there's been a real pushback against diversity, equity, inclusion, those things, but also sustainability initiatives, at least, publicly.
Yeah.
But you guys are still doing it. It's important, right?
It's gotten some. One of the biggest things is like it needs some teeth, because I think a lot of it comes off as like greenwashing, or it's just kind of like surface stuff. Yeah. So one of the things that we did, when I first came on with this position, I was like, I need to know what they're doing, how they're doing it, who's certifying it, who's actually guaranteeing that they're doing it. So that's why you have not only their certification on the back label, but you'll also see the certifying body on the back label, which is cool. It is important.
Bigger deal in Europe?
I think it is a big deal in Europe, and they get a lot more support from the government in Europe. But a lot of it was done more just towards the social, like the charity, the philanthropy, and then like in the vineyard, but it's got to be a little bit bigger than that. And when you kind of put all these things together, then it starts to make sense to the consumer and to people that it's not, you don't have to really sacrifice much to get this. It actually just makes sense, and it's the way that we've been doing it for a long time. We're
speaking with Christopher Wirth, Director of Sustainability at Opici Wines and Spirits. He joins us along with quite a few bottles of wine here in the Bloomberg Interactive.
Let's go to El Coto.
Let's go to El Coto.
You want to go to Spain?
Yeah.
You want to go to Rioja?
Yeah.
The Rioja region.
So
let's
we go
do
to
it.
Rioja.
Pack your bags. Let's go.
So a little European tour here. So all right. So we'll go to El Coto. This is one of my favorite wines in our portfolio. This is like my official summer wine. If you come to my house, you have a glass of this in your hands immediately.
Well, just invite us.
Yes.
Sorry.
Come up to the Finger Lakes. We'll do some wine tours
Love
as well.
the Finger Lakes.
Wine tours as well.
Okay.
So this is their El Coto Blanco. This will be a blend of mostly Viura with which is an indigenous grape to Spain, some Sauvignon Blanc, and a dash of Verdejo. All stainless steel, all dry farm, so no irrigation on this one or anything.
What do you mean
that.
Stainless steel?
So when you ferment a wine, you can ferment it in stainless steel and then put it in oak for aging. Sometimes, especially with whites, they'll barrel ferment them, so they have a little bit oakier, little vanilla feel. This is all stainless steel to maintain that acidity, keep it really fresh.
Okay.
You'll get notes of like citrus and maybe some pineapple, and a little bit of acidity and minerality in the aftertaste.
I got bubbles because I drank the wrong one.
You went backwards?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all right.
It's okay.
Oh, it's really soft. I could see like in the summer when it's hot, it's really lovely.
Seafood, softer cheeses, pastas, things like that, cold salads, it's really good. And, in this area, one of the Spanish sustainability efforts that they focus on is water and water management and not wasting water. So on the back of this one, you'll see wineries for climate protection. That's the Spanish certification. So you saw the 3E on the Italian one. Wineries for climate protection is what Spain does. So that's a joint public-private venture between the Spanish government and the Federation of Spanish Winemakers. It's called the FEV. And they've put this together. Once again, it's economic, it's social, it's governance, it's all of that. But they do focus on reducing energy consumption and water management, because Rioja can be a very dry place, and you do often, you can get some rain, some storms, but you also can get a lot of drought.
Water is that thing. I was just having a conversation earlier with our Michael McKee of Bloomberg, and just whether it's the United States but around the world, we just take it for granted, but it is becoming more and more difficult, and we have increasingly a lot of dry areas because of climate change and other things.
Yeah, the Colorado River, there's so many issues around that, even in terms of access to that water source and indigenous rights, and there's some treaties that have been, broken with some of the First Peoples. But then up here, we get a lot of rain. We're getting floods and washouts and a lot of erosion and a lot of those synthetic
extremes.
So synthetic fertilizers they use when it storms, those will just wash right into the water supply, and that can cause algae blooms and cause invasive species. It makes the water unsafe for drinking. So or use.
All right, you saved the best for last because I am a gal who kind of likes her red wine. So tell me what we got.
So back to Italy on this one. This is from Carpenetto. This is still family owned. The Saccheo family and the Sacchette family founded this in 1967. It's all estate fruit on this one. This will be their 2020 Chianti Classico Reserva. So you will be 100% estate-grown Sangiovese. Really beautiful wine, really elegant style to it. You take a smell and you know it's Italian. It's got that rustic, earthier side. But when you drink it, it's got some floral notes. It's very soft. And it's just a very, very pleasant wine. Some of these you have to have food with them. I think this one on its own, kind of what we're doing right now.
Very nice. I'm my team knows, and forgive me if I take this down to a really base level, but every Friday it's pizza night. But I love a good red, and this would be really sweet.
Go.
Well, now you have your wine for tonight.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot. We were talking about all European wines, but you mentioned you're in the Finger Lakes.
Yeah.
And you said if we went up there, we could go look at some vineyards and see some vineyards. Can you talk a little bit about that region and its growing sort of prominence in the wine industry?
Yeah, so there's been grapes grown there for forever. You have the traditional, the European varietals. They're called Vitis vinifera, so like Chardonnay, Cabernet, Sauvignon, things like that. Finger Lakes were more known for their Vitis labrusca, so like Concord, Niagara, a lot of hybrids, colder, hardier grapes. But a lot of those grapes from Europe were transplanted over, and you have Riesling, you have Cabernet Franc, things like that. It's a really good area. It is a cool climate, though. So, it has a little bit of a problem with frost, and the winters are harder more than the summers. It's going to be interesting as the planet's warming and things get different. Will the Finger Lakes turn into like a moderate, like a little more of a warmer climate? So everyone's adjusting to this,
But you're getting good wine from the Finger Lakes.
Solid wines. I can't speak highly enough. And Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Riesling is obviously king up there just because it loves that cool climate to maintain that acid. But it's a beautiful area. It's some of the most scenic stuff you'll see. But
all right,
it's a little hidden gem.
Christopher, we're going to be just waiting for that invite. As you said,
he invited us.
I know.
You both have my number. It's okay.
It's out in the universe. This was really fun and a perfect wrap up to another crazy week. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Pleasure.
Come back soon.
We'll do.
Christopher Wirth, Director of Sustainability at Opici Wines and Spirits, joining us right here in our Bloomberg Interactive Brokers studio.